People are making love to the earth. The mayor of Philadelphia enables child rape, and the LA mayor weighs in on removing Trump's star. All of those stories today on the Rebel Buzz. I love stories like this because it shows how mentally challenged much of the left is. Ecosexuality, yes, that is a thing. In fact, it is the E that was added to LGBTQQAII. As I started researching this topic, it emerged that this movement is big in Australia, which actually kind of bummed me out because I was thinking, dang, this really sounds like something that people in LA would do. Thankfully, you lovable liberal idiots did not let me down. Thank you, thank you, thank you, because the ecosexual movement has indeed come to the US as well. But over in the land down under in Sydney, the movement began a few years ago with an art installation slash festival, and two creative folks utilizing a bathhouse for what they describe as a no-holds-barred extravaganza meant to dissolve the barriers between species as we descend into oblivion as the result of our alleged climate crisis occurs. Being ecosexual can describe a broad range of people. On one end, it's people who like to hike nude or use eco-friendly sex toys like pine cones and poison ivy. Just kidding, like organic lube, I guess. But I'm sorry, how is hiking nude going to help the environment? And it's definitely not helping other people because it is always the last people you ever want to see naked who are prancing around in their birthday suit. You see pictures from these nudist compounds and it's always the palest, blobbiest people ever. Like, how are you so pale? You live outdoors and you're naked all the time in the sun. How do you have such little melanin rising to the surface of your epidermis? It defies logic, truly. Anyway, I decided to allow myself to go down this ecosex rabbit hole. Ecosex rabbit hole, get it? Sorry, I went down this ecosex rabbit hole and found sexecology.org, which publishes Ecosex Manifesto. So let's take a look at their literature. Ecosex Manifesto articles 1 and 2 state this, and I'm going to try to get through this without laughing. The earth is our lover. We are madly, passionately, and fiercely in love, and we are grateful for this relationship each and every day. In order to create a more mutual and sustainable relationship with the earth, we collaborate with nature. We treat the earth with kindness, respect, and affection. We are aquaphiles, terraphiles, pyrophiles, ouch, and aerophiles. We shamelessly hug trees, massage the earth with our feet, and talk erotically to plants. We are skinny dippers, sun worshippers, and stargazers. We caress rocks, are pleasured by waterfalls, and admire the earth's curves often. We make love with the earth through our senses. We celebrate our E-spots. We are very dirty. Indeed, you are very dirty, and it's rubbing off on me. I feel like I need a shower, like I just caught my neighbors doing it on their patio or something. So that's another end of the spectrum, and from the original reporting, which claims that they are also people who roll around in the dirt having an orgasm covered in potting soil. I hope that they're aware that a lot of potting soil contains compost, fungus, pathogens, and animal fecal matter, aka fertilizer, dung. I'm all for being eco-friendly. I recycle, but even recycling is getting a little absurd. You walk up to a cluster of trash cans consisting of umpteen different barrels for different materials, and it's like, seriously, you want me to recycle? You sort it out, okay? But ecosexuality is where I draw the line. Also, you guys, if you ever go out on a date with a liberal and they tell you they like to get a little dirty, you should inquire beforehand exactly what they mean. Do you remember a few months ago when Philadelphia Mayor James Kennedy made an absolute fool of himself with his pathetic little jig after a judge ruled in favor of its sanctuary city status? Now, I joked that the only time a man his age should dance like that is after he has married off his last daughter. Unfortunately, this is no longer a laughing matter and an opportunity to mock this fool. Sadly, it's more proof that sanctuary city policies are not only illegal, they are costing lives, like in the case of Kate Steinle, and promoting horrific crimes. Philadelphia only recently was favored in a court to become a sanctuary city, but they have been defying federal immigration laws for years. Juan Raymond Vasquez is an illegal immigrant from Honduras. He was previously deported back in 2009, but shocker of shockers, he came back in the spring of 2014 and was again taken into custody by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Philadelphia decided it would be a grand idea to drop the charges and ignore an order from ICE to detain him. So he was released yet again in 2015 and was yet again rearrested and convicted on 1 count of child rape and 1 count of unlawful sexual contact with a minor. The end of last month, the spineless leaders of Philadelphia announced that once their law-sharing deal with ICE expires the end of August, they will not renew it. It was an arrangement to share real-time arrest information with ICE, but without it, no doubt, we will see many more crimes like this in repetition. It's the nature of recidivism and the root of our immigration issues. If you don't enforce laws, they will keep coming and keep getting sent home or left alone to stay. Then they'll keep coming and committing crimes and keep getting slaps on the wrist from sanctuary cities. It is a vicious cycle that has to stop. All right, to close us out for the Rebel Buzz today, I'm happy to report that here in Los Angeles, we have yet another city official confirming that President Donald Trump's star on the Walk of Fame will not be removed. I normally wouldn't really consider a word coming from this man's mouth to be credible, but he is the mayor. Now, why don't I give any credence to Mayor Eric Garcetti's words? Well, because he is a deplorable mayor, and I don't mean that in the positive sense. LA has been suffering for a while, but it has sunk lower than the LA basin since this guy took office. Los Angeles looks like a third world country in many parts of the city, but not if you look at rent prices. My building is rent control, fortunately, but when the guy beneath me moved out and new tenants were checking out the apartment, I noticed on the flyer that they had bumped up the rent to $2,100. Now let me put this in perspective for you. It's 450 square feet, doesn't have central heating or air, no washer and dryer in the unit, no security for the building, which we're in Hollywood, so that's absolutely idiotic. And it's second floor with no view, and only one side of the building has windows, so your only hope for sunlight is squeezing through some trees. $2,100. So rent is exorbitant, crime is rampant, breathing our city's air is literally dangerous to your health, and yay, we're the gang capital of the world with 45,000 gang members in central LA. But let's express our righteous indignation over Donald Trump having a star on the boulevard. It's actually quite poetic, allocating emotional resources to things that don't matter, like the star, just like our city allocating financial and legislative resources to things that don't matter, like plastic straws. Anyway, TMZ's camera crew caught up with the mayor and asked him if he thought the star should be removed, and he said this.
Look, I think we should be focused less on sidewalk brawls and more on replacing a Congress that enables him.
Right.
That's where we put our energy in. You know, every moment we're out there fighting these fights or just on our Twitter feed are moments we could be registering voters and actually flipping this Congress, and that's where I'm going to spend my energy.
I know you called it a sidewalk sideshow.
Yeah.
What exactly is the sideshow?
Look, this whole politics has turned into a circus, and it's back and forth. The more we get trapped into playing their games of yelling back and forth and symbolic gestures, I'm into real work, and right now he's really doing bad things, whether it's for the environment and the fires we have, whether it's immigrants, whether it's for our economy. This is somebody who we need to make sure in November we send a message to.
But the West Hollywood City Council is going to send you a letter for consideration,
Yep.
and they voted to remove it.
And they're my friends, and they're the neighboring area, but we're Hollywood and we're LA.
What is your decision going to be, or your recommendation?
We don't have jurisdiction there. That's something, it's a historic cultural monument. So like it or hate it, you know, it's there to stay. I'm going to make sure I send a stronger message than a star. We're going to replace some of his friends in Congress.
So you're not going to recommend that they remove it?
We can't. That's something that's protected by the historic cultural monument.
You know, Mark?
So if you're a Trump supporter, that's some good news going into the weekend. Yay! Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Amanda Head, the Hollywood conservative for The Rebel. If you enjoyed my commentary and want to hear more from all of us here at The Rebel, subscribe to our premium content at www.therebel.media/shows. Make sure you're following us on Facebook and Twitter for all of our latest news, and download our new app for The Rebel Media on the App Store. That way you will have easy and instant access to all of our latest videos and your favorite Rebel shows. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Amanda Head for The Rebel.